Yeah, now we're live.
We are live.
Wait a moment, and then try again.
Oh, that's odd. It says live on my screen. It says
yeah,
it
was
says,
LinkedIn didn't go live when we went
imagine
live.
That.
So
imagine.
yeah,
Okay, so let me go
imagine.
on X. How do I?
You should have a tweet or a post or whatever. Yep, that
Where's
you
it
can.
at?
It like it should have tagged you in the name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right here. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna repost it.
You're welcome.
Quote.
Trust landed. Now, of course, now that we're live, immediately I have like somebody trying to transact me.
Of course.
We're gonna post this. They have the best. Yes.
What's in your noble?
Amazing. I don't even know how you got that one in there, but sounds great.
Your noble cause.
Thanks, Tress. Okay, great. This has been the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
Been insane.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Super productive.
I think so. I'll let you know in a week.
Just now. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Join us now.
Yeah.
All right. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hey, I don't know who's watching, but somebody's watching. What's
that's
happening?
awesome.
Yeah. Wherever you are, you can comment and potentially we'll see it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sold some courses. Now I can tell people I'm in the course business, and now
Yeah.
we have one.
It's
a
more
viewer.
refined. It's not so coarse. It's refined.
It's refined. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But now we have a viewer. I can say, "What do you do for a living?" I'm a live streamer.
You're a live streamer.
Yeah,
That's right.
So I can add it
That's correct.
to my talent stack, and it's when you try to explain to people what you do for a living,
Yeah,
it's a little difficult. And
it is difficult.
I think I made a comment this morning on X that I said, if you
I don't show
can't,
my hair here.
yeah, you look hot, you look great.
I
If
know.
you can't describe what you do for a living,
Gotta
that
call
means
HR.
that means you're on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to do.
I agree. Yeah.
Because I have a hell of a time too. So people just get glazed over, and okay, so we have today topics.
I got a flyaway is what they call this
Flyaway, yeah.
in the TV business.
You need to keep a pair of scissors at your desk.
That's right.
That's it. High and tight. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. So we have that. And then Friday we're set. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I got to close my X feed because I'm a little bit behind. It's kind of freaking me out. Okay, good. All right.
I need to. Oh, I need to do this. This is what I need to do.
I guess I can go on LinkedIn and do the same thing here.
Right. Okay. Great. Yeah, I don't know who's watching where. I can't.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's on a platform that I don't get to see. We have way too many platforms that we're
Yeah,
streaming
I understand
to.
that. Notifications. Should I get a notification? No. I did
Okay.
get a notification on LinkedIn. So maybe
No, you probably
it
wouldn't.
doesn't. Okay.
There's no way to tag
I
like there.
see.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a link that it gives me to share in here?
It's to the Business Brain.
Just our
our Business Brain like profile that we could then share from ourselves.
Got it.
Yeah.
Business Brain. Okay. Okay.
Let me see.
View page.
That's it. Yeah.
Hey, I see it. Okay, great.
Do you see it? Okay,
I
cool.
see it. Repost. Repost with your thoughts. Okay. Where's X?
There we are, Business Brain. I can even, we can show what we're doing here.
I like it. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta interact as me, not as Business Brain.
Oh yeah, I'm actually posting.
You're acting as
I gotta
Business Brain.
change that to as well.
Correct.
No, post settings. How do I do that?
Bingo, bango. There it is.
Discard.
It's very meta because I'm seeing myself doing it
Yeah.
after the fact, but it's fine.
Let me change my Shannon G.
Why am I still have control of the Mac Observer account on LinkedIn? Somebody should have taken that away from me years ago,
Yes,
Shannon.
Yes, you should.
But it's fine. I with great power comes great responsibility, and
You
I
are
don't-
very responsible.
I tend to be mostly responsible. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Mainly because I don't want to get caught being irresponsible.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, I mean, like...
Well, that's a self-motivator. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. We don't, like, I mean, we don't, we don't murder people because...
I like to read murder mysteries. That doesn't make me a serial killer.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. We don't murder people both because it's wrong and because it would change, if we got caught, we'd, change the course of our lives. So we don't do that.
Right. I got to go on D&D here. It would be a good step to start.
Oh, that's part of my podcasting workflow.
I know. You got it. You're way more sophisticated.
It turns on that light. It puts me on D&D, and it turns off my air purifier. It's pretty good.
Smart. I worked on my lighting, but I'm pretty shiny.
You're all right.
I'm gonna get another light. Yeah. So it's good. It's good. We're gonna get this figured out. So
I need to get now that we're doing live streaming, I need to put a version of my pre-flight and post-flight checklists in place because there's too many variables now.
Yes.
I will forget things.
That's right.
Okay. In
Cool.
fact, hang on. I'm gonna do this. So here's pre-flight. Let's see. Can I duplicate that note? Yes. Can I move this into my Business Brain Show folder? Yes. And is it pinned? Yes. Business Brain pre-flight. Okay. So now I have all kinds of things. Yes, we're doing that. Oh, we're not doing that, actually. We are doing that. Audio hijack is recording. That's important.
Terrific.
Yep. The stereo is balanced. Yeah, it's good that I have this. Because I'm gonna forget something at some point.
Great. Very important.
Yep. As Pilot Pete on Mac Geek Gab reminds me, it is a checklist, not a to-do list.
Yes.
But it is there to catch the things you forgot. It's a big difference, right?
A big difference.
Yeah.
I don't like to-dos, so.
Okay. Right. This is going to be different. Nope.
All right.
Yep. Light the candle, send the tweet. We don't do that. We did test the ads. Volume. Good afternoon. We have Facebook user, so
Nice.
I still don't know who you are, but that's okay. Let me see.
Good afternoon. That's terrific.
That's interesting. I don't see it on our Facebook page either. It must be in our Facebook group.
Yeah, it's in the group.
That's where I get
Yep.
that. Yeah, it's fascinating.
I did welcome.
No, you typed welcome and it sends it to multiple destinations and you see them all in the thing. It's totally normal.
Yeah, I'm going to get this figured out.
I am going to play the ads one more time just to make sure that the volume level to you sounds consistent with me.
Okay.
All right. Imagine designing a... How's that?
Sounds great.
Okay, good.
Terrific, dude.
I expected it would be good, but
That's great.
I don't need to do that. Okay. Test the ads, and now we can do the shows. As many of them as we want.
Yeah, great.
Yep. Okay. Here. Oh, I have that on my list, and I skipped right over it. Okay, great. Here we go. Business Brain, episode 508 for Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take several ideas each episode, we crunch them, we dissect them, we use them so that we can collectively tune our business brains together and keep on living those charmed lives. Sponsors for this episode include Miro.com/podcast. That's the link you're going to go to get your first 3 Miro boards for free forever. And we'll talk about what those are and why you want to do that in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And I'm still out here in Lafayette, California. I'm Shannon Jean. How are you, man?
I'm good. Today has been I say today has been mayhem. We record this late in the afternoon, my time. The last 24 hours have been mayhem. We brought 3 new shows on to Backbeat Media recently. And yesterday was the day that I sent an announcement out to a lot of our media partners. I'd kind of mentioned them piecemeal here and there, but it was time to just make sure all the media buyers at all of our media partners and agencies had all of that stuff, and the details on the shows and everything, it's like, let me do this all at once. I made what I now know is the decision. I was going to call it a mistake. I don't know that it was a mistake because it was very effective, but I did this at 6:30 p.m. my time last night.
Okay.
And then I left my desk for the day thinking that I was wrapping up work for the day.
Sure.
Yeah, no. I wound up all evening and all morning and all day. I've been transacted by people who are wanting to include them on. Yeah, no, it's all really good.
Problem to have, yeah.
Yeah, it's not it, but it was just surprising to me. It's been a fairly slow Q4, although I will say the last week or so has seen a lot of things picking up for Q1 buys. They're happening later this year than they typically would. So people are actively working on these proposals, and then to get these new things on their desk, they were all like, great, can I get this show on these 4 proposals? And so it was like, all right, let me find these podcasters and ask them if they'll approve these sponsors. And it was never ending. I mean, I went to sleep, but it didn't really change anything. Eventually went to sleep. So it's been, but that's great, right?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good news.
Well, and as you had some things in front of you getting to the studio and getting things to start the show today, and we started talking offline here about what gets in your way to succeed. And I like your comment. It's like, it's usually not big things that stop you, but it's often stacks of smaller things that get in your way that you got to overcome, right?
Yeah, and I think that's true. The little things are more important than the big things. In that it also, in terms of growth of a business too. It's all the little things that you do that help you grow. It's rarely, sometimes certainly it's one big monumental thing that you do, but most of the time it's the little things. But yeah, all the stuff that gets in the way. It's like I was trying to do something before we got together here. And really just reconciling some bank statements. That was it. That was the project.
That's a nightmare. Yeah.
But it's
got to be done.
The thing is, I tell myself that it's a nightmare every time. Yeah. It turns out it really isn't. It's a fairly straightforward process, and it's very routine, and it always takes less time than I've convinced myself it's going to take, and I'll procrastinate it anyway. Well, today was the one time that proves all of my prior procrastinations true. Because as soon as I started, it took me a half hour to re-log into all the banks for whatever reason. Everybody needed the new stuff, and this was here and that was here. And it's like, I just freaking want to log in. Why are we doing this? But I had to, in order to download everything into QuickBooks. I got to, be able to log into the banks and slurp it all in. It's like, no, you got to re-authenticate this and re-authenticate that and re-authenticate this. And it's the little things that add up and slow you down. Yeah.
And I think we often make, that mountain out of molehill type thing. You make it seem, I was reading something this morning where it's like the 2 most important parts of your day would be, this is the make your bed concept, right? It's get out of bed when you say you're going to get out of bed. And then the second one was slay your dragons first thing, which is the stuff you've thought about. Maybe it kept you up at night. But I agree that little things get in your way of, what can you get done? What's your plan? And I count myself fortunate that I have a very fluid schedule, so I'm able to kind of maneuver and swim to what I want to do. Which is not often. Well, sometimes not what I should be doing.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But the little stuff and getting things done. We were having some technical issues and everything. But yeah, what's in your way? I mean, let us know what you guys find out is, in your way. Feedback at businessbrain.show so we can talk about it and slay those dragons,
All right. Imagine designing a product that not only users adore, but also makes you fall in love with the creative process. This is where our sponsor Miro steps in, transforming your design journey into a connected, collaborative adventure. Picture this. Miro's visual platform becomes your playground to build that essential product. It's where your ideas take shape, incorporating key user needs every step of the way. Get real-time feedback, understand what clicks and what doesn't, and iterate rapidly. Miro is your go-to workspace for continuous improvement. Now, think about brainstorming with your team, gathering valuable feedback, and creating product experiences with a sprinkle of magic. All of this is possible in Miro. Make your findings visual and easy to grasp. Centralize your research on a single Miro board, creating a hub for your team to connect, discuss, and build comprehensive presentations. With Miro, customer perspectives are no longer a puzzle. Use hundreds of templates, including journey maps, to lead discussions and brainstorm improvements. Miro's infinite canvas is your realm to explore user needs and innovations. What's more, gather inspiration effortlessly. Drop images, GIFs, videos, and even audio on your board. Miro makes building lo-fi wireframes a breeze, offering a collaborative space to shape early concepts swiftly. And the best part, you can critique and refine designs in one shared space. Leave feedback asynchronously, ensuring everyone's voice is heard. And guess what? Your first 3 Miro boards are free forever when you sign up. Don't wait. Bring your ideas to life. Sign up today at Miro.com/podcast. Again, Miro.com/podcast. And our thanks to Miro for sponsoring this episode. All right. So, before I go back to reconciling bank statements, Shannon,
Yes,
and
that's
finding out
exciting.
where this
Exciting.
$10.
So we're going to do that online.
Oh, yeah. We're going to
watching
live
along.
stream this. That's right.
It's gonna be great.
Before I do that, you had brought up this concept a couple of weeks ago to me of noble causes.
Yeah.
And having one for your business and for your brand, it's an interesting thing. I'm curious. It seemed like something that you had dug into a little bit. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, I've done this before, like with our repair businesses. I would always explain to new employees, and then I would remind, our current staff that what you were doing was far more important than just repairing somebody's computer or their phone or whatever, because you have to look beyond that and how it impacts their life. And
Right.
so I always, would say, hey, and it was on every computer, it was in posters throughout the office. It was like, we're changing the world one repair at a time. Whether you're working for some kid that's got to do it for homework, or you're a college student that's got something due, or a business owner that can't run their business without their computer. That was our constant mantra, and to motivate yourself. And I follow a guy on the X platform who I recommend you follow too, Michael Girdley. Fascinating guy, very successful. He's got a bunch of different businesses. He's got a great sense of humor. And he made a comment that reminded me of this concept that when things get tough, you think about what your noble cause is. It's something that's beyond what you do every day, right?
Yeah.
You have to remind yourself. It's not just because you got to, we all want to be something greater than our day-to-day, grunt work grind. And this noble cause concept is great. And he describes it really well. We'll link this his post at businessbrain.show for you to go read it. The purpose that's bigger than yourself in your business. And he has some great examples, really simple stuff. We help people get jobs that change their life, help customers get home earlier to their families. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Enable business owners to retire earlier. And this is kind of this story concept too that I always am harping on, where like if you're in the HVAC business, you're not. You don't talk about fixing AC units and heaters. Talk about how you protect, make people more comfortable and keep them warm during crazy storms and all that kind of stuff. This is the same thing. We create memories of a lifetime for people. Video clip that he talks about in this post.
This noble cause, this could be if you're having trouble getting started with telling your story for your business. this could be another entry point to that, right? Because it is all sort of part of the same narrative, if you will, where you're telling a story not about, well, to take your repairs business that you used to have kind of as the example. Well, we use screwdrivers and we open up things like, yes, that's technically correct. It's accurate, but it's not interesting unless you're talking to an audience that's interested in that.
If you're talking to a bunch of geeks that want to learn about repairs,
totally different.
We did YouTube videos for those folks, and it was super technical and all that kind of stuff. But if you're talking about your company to a bank or to whoever, clients, prospective employees, to just say, we fix computers. Well, you're just really underselling yourself, your business, your employees that work super hard. You think about this, your noble cause, and don't just say, we fix computers. This is because you don't. You do way, way more than that.
Yeah.
And when people smile and you see the impact, and I never let our employees go up and talk to people at any of our locations unless they're wearing like a lab coat and they look like a doctor. I said, you guys are just as important, man, because this is their digital life that you're repairing. And so
you're already like you speak in noble causes. You have trained your brain to do this, and it makes a lot of sense.
And it's a trick,
of course.
And I'm motivating myself as you're motivating your employees, your customers, your banker. If you're asking for money, when you have that conversation with your banker, you want to talk in those grand things. Yes, your numbers have to show. Are you profitable? Are you making money? Are you a worthwhile investment?
I want to do a thing here with Shannon on this, some kind of real life business therapy. But before we do, I want to offer up but really, obviously, Shannon's services here. If you don't know what your business's noble cause is, email us at feedback@businessbrain.show, and we'll give you some ideas. You don't have to take them, but we'll give you some ideas.
Absolutely.
Now, what I want to do is I want to talk about, Shannon, what our noble cause is
I can tell you exactly what it is.
Bingo. That's what I'm going for.
I've been saying this for years, and it's also identifying your ideal customer.
Yep.
So when I think about this show, I started or came to you with the idea to start this show because I have sat in front of my computer late at night by myself, very lonely, thinking about I want to build something.
Yep.
And I don't know how to do it. And do I have the strength to do it? And being afraid, there's an edge of fear in there. Am I going to let my family down or this or that? And my concept or idea to the show is that we're going to lift that person up. We have lifted thousands of people. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. People listen to the show, and I want them to listen to it forever, and it be out there hopefully, right?
Yes, of course.
And find something that helps them take that next step, especially if you're on the fence and have not started the business yet, but you're thinking about doing it, and you've got a 9-to-5, which is great. You can have a noble cause there too, but you need that push, and you need that support, and we are your advisors.
Helping listeners take that next step in your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah. Kicking you off the edge of the bridge, man.
Well, yes.
That's what it is. Because it's hard, and it's not always going to be exciting and fun, and it's not
it's not a linear path.
No, it's not. It's up and down. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But our noble cause is to be here for you when you need it, when you want to learn something. And I can see it in the emails we get and the comments we get.
It fits.
I see it.
All right, so now help me. You've obviously thought about this. That's no great surprise. We do it together.
I've been thinking about it for 508 episodes.
Exactly. So now, what's my noble cause with one of my other podcasts with Mac Geek Gab? And I'm happy to tell you. I think I could come up with it, but I want to kind of workshop this here. And you're better at this thing than I am.
Well, about better, but
we answer people's questions. It's one of the things. That's one of the primary things that we do. We share tips that either we or other listeners have found, right? So we say at the beginning of every episode, and I might be leading the witness here a little bit, but that's the whole point. We say at the beginning of the episode, the goal is that each of us learns at least 5 new things every time we get together. So what's our noble cause? Yeah.
I think because I don't know anything about the music business. I love music, but
No, this is Mac Geek Gab.
Oh, sorry. I'm talking
tech
about
show.
Gig Gab. Yeah,
no,
Mac Geek
if I
Gab.
said
Okay.
Gig Gab, I
Yeah.
apologize. I meant Mac Geek Gab, the tech show.
You may
So,
not have said it.
yeah, we're answering
So
people's
Mac Geek Gab.
tech questions. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're an educational, right, show. It's like
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're teaching, the world how to solve problems. You're doing it 5 at a time. You're all these people that are coming to you because, if you can't figure out technology now, you're in big trouble. And in the slightest things, and we take it for granted, people that have worked with technology for our careers. But I just had it the other day where somebody handed their phone and says, I can't get this thing to do this. And I was like, well, that's like the easiest thing in the world. But that's because I've messed with it for 25 years.
Yeah, of course. I always say when we're doing this stuff, it's not rocket surgery. It's if you know the answer, it's easy.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Just like a lot of this business stuff. So I
Correct.
would say your noble cause is to educate the world about how to, use your technology better and to achieve more with it.
Yeah. I love it. You're right. I've never thought about it that way in that broad of a way. It's accurate. I like this. No, this is like we're gonna take some version of that and put it in our marketing materials.
Yeah,
So,
the thing is, we're going to talk about we've got a great show coming up, but I mean this noble cause thing. I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but I do. But it's not only good for you mentally, because you're doing something more important than just getting up and going to work every day.
Yeah.
And then it's also important for your employees because especially them, they're getting up, going to work every day and grinding it out. And they're
You got to give them a mission. Why are they getting out of bed?
Yeah. It's like having a good enemy. That's important too. We should do a show about that.
Yeah.
Right. But it's
like
also
the flip side of this coin for sure.
It's also really good for your vendors to talk about and to get them on your side, and you're fighting for something. You're doing something good.
You're part of the mission together.
Cause.
Yeah.
And then lastly, but certainly not least, it's good for your customers. You should be sharing your noble cause in your marketing material, your website, whatever it is. That's how you get above we're the cheapest and the best, because everybody thinks, oh well, of course they're going to say that, but they're that's
but what? Yeah, how?
table
Like,
stakes.
yeah. That's you're going to say that, but you need people to come to that conclusion on their own.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
my take on it. So we'd love to hear
thank you.
what is your noble cause, or if you don't have one and you want help, feedback at businessbrain.show. If you can't tell, I get a little excited. I love talking about this stuff because it really works. It worked for me.
I didn't set Shannon up with this. Like I didn't even think about it until we were halfway through the episode of like actually doing a live workshop. So you heard it happen live, and we will do the same thing for your business too.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Like he said, feedback at businessbrain.show. You can also call or text us at 567-274-6977. We'll put that link in the show notes, and keep living that charmed life. We'll see you on Friday. All right, we're out of that episode. I need to grab a timestamp.
Do it.
28:24. Hang on. Yeah. And 28:24. So how long was that episode? That episode was about, actually, man, just to find cut points for Sadie.
Oh yeah,
I didn't.
Great.
I did not go grab them the first time. So how long was this? It's just 20 minutes. So 8:45 or so. Start point. Okay, great.
Okay, good.
Now I need to do all the other things. I need to.
Yes, the next checklist.
Yes. Yeah, that's the problem. There's too many checklists.
Of course, dude.
But better to have it on a checklist than forget about it.
I agree.
Okay. This part I know how to do. I just need to get it. I just need to remember to start doing it. There we go. Thankfully, I did all my prep work.
Beautiful.
Yep. Well, if I don't do the prep work, this would This would never happen as efficiently as it does. Okay. Shannon and I have a pretty good workflow here.
Yeah, Dave does all the work. I do all the talking.
Oh, see, that's not true.
I know, I'm just joking.
You're going to see me do my part for this. Well, you'll see the final step of my part for this episode. There's a lot of prep that goes in. I do that, getting all the structure set up and all that. And then I upload the file and I build the chapters while we're doing the show. I do that live.
Yeah, that's.
And well, it's just a skill I developed. And so I'm happy to keep doing it. Yeah. But then I upload the show to our little engine, this engine called Auphonic that we use. And I do that, which is now happening. And then I also go into our WordPress, which I'm not logged into. So I have to turn on my password manager here. And I go and I put I put the chapters in WordPress.
Yep.
And then my part is done. And Shannon fleshes out the WordPress part and creates an episode image for us. And it all, like, I like our workflow here.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's pretty dependable.
It is. And it feels fairly balanced to me. I mean, I'm sure there's some weeks where, you know, one part or the other has unpredicted issues and takes one of us longer than normal. But for the most part, it really kind of is a nice balanced thing. I'm just cleaning up the WordPress here. Boom, boom, boom. And there's that. And if I don't forget to do that, then we're good.
Okay.
And now my part with 508 is done.
There you go.
And I only make Shannon sit through that
right.
for the first one, because if I don't, then like all of these things that I do,
Well, and this is new too.
It's more efficient.
We're doing.
I'm not talking it through. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm ready to. I think I'm ready to do the next one. I need to get a timestamp for us. Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Got it.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
I'm ready, man.
Business Brain, the show for entrepreneurs, episode 509 for Casual Friday, December 15th, 2023. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take a concept, a thought, an idea, we analyze it, we discuss it, we dissect it, all in the interest of tuning our collective business brains together here. Sponsors for this episode include Miro.com/podcast. That's where you can go to get your first 3 Miro boards for free forever. We'll talk about what those are in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And out in Northern California, I'm Shannon Jean. How you doing, man?
Yeah, good. You know, rocking and rolling. That's how we go. Yeah.
How we go. Hey, when we started, we did the pre-show here. You mentioned a topic that I thought was interesting because I hadn't heard this concept before. So I'd love for you to explain it to me. And you said, always ask for the no.
Oh, yeah.
That's related to when you're selling something, right? Is that
correct?
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that means. Tell me.
Yeah. So it's a little counterintuitive, and that's why I like saying it that way, because you don't want people to say no to you when you're trying to sell to them, right?
Yes,
like
correct.
The goal is for them to say yes. But also, we seasoned sellers of things here know, or at least we're about to learn, that if you make 20 phone calls and you get 19 rejections, 19 no's, that's success, right? Because you make 20 phone calls, you got one sale. That's fine. Well, you have to get to that 20th call, right? Like you have to do all 20 calls in order for that to work. And in some businesses, it's not 1 out of 20 turns into a sale. It's 1 out of 100 or something like that. So you know that you're going to get 19 or 99 no's. you have to get them in order to you have to get each one of them in order to be able to talk to the next person. And that's why I say it's really important at a point in your sales process to ask for the no. And by that, I mean, sometimes I literally will tell people, hey, look, I did it earlier today. Mac Geek Gab is going out to CES next month to Las Vegas for the CES conference. We're going to cover all that. And we do this every year. It's great. And we have sponsorship opportunities open for that. Well, I'm in the process we have a few locked in and we're working on, getting some more. And there's some people that are on the fence. I have to get them off the fence because otherwise I'm going to keep following up with them and they will keep consuming my time.
Yeah, right.
And that's going to keep me from getting to the person that's going to say yes. It might be one of them.
Push them a bit.
You got to push them. And the only way I can push is towards the no. I can't push you towards the yes. I can lure you towards the yes, and lure that has negative connotations. It's not. It's like
persuade.
Persuade. Yeah. I can show you value that hopefully makes you say yes. But if it is not the right time for your business, it doesn't matter what I show you. If it's going to be a no, it's going to be a no. And a lot of people, and I've been in this business a long time. There's people I'm reaching out to that I've known for a decade or 2 decades. Some of them don't want to say no to me. Right. But they can't say yes.
Yeah.
And, I'm good at relationships. And so I know that some people are going to hesitate to say no, and they don't mean to drag me on, but it is human nature to be like, well, I don't want to disappoint this person, but I haven't said yes yet. Don't think I'm gonna. And so I will push people towards a no. I did it to somebody today. I'm like, hey, I know I haven't heard back from you. Saying no is totally fine. I just want to check in. I want to make sure you're not missing this opportunity. But if it's a no, it's totally good.
I like it.
And I immediately got a no from him. But I've also done that and immediately gotten a yes from somebody. Because when you start pushing for the no, what you're really doing is pushing them towards a decision.
Yes, correct.
Right? That's really what you're doing.
To save you time and your effort.
Bingo.
So you can focus on a more productive call to the next client that
correct.
That may be a yes.
Yeah, and it might be that call. That might be the productive one. I don't know, right? But I that's the thing is I don't know until they've made a decision. Now, sometimes I'll push for a no, and what I'll get in response is a clarifying question. Some people are tire kickers. Some people everyone needs a certain amount of information to make a business decision. And so, at that point, I will evaluate. It's like, okay, well, that's great. In sales, the goal always is you put it, you, the person to whom I'm selling, you put it on the table. I take it off. Tell me what your objections are. Let me address them. So, we'll go through some rounds of that. But sometimes it's just like, hey, look, you're asking a lot of questions. I think I've given you everything that exists about this. If it's a no, that's totally fine.
It comes with experience. I think a new salesperson they're doing everything to try to keep the fish on the hook, right? And do it.
No, you only got one hook.
Yeah,
that's right.
But you're missing out on those other opportunities.
All the other fish are swimming by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Always ask for the no. I love it.
All right. Imagine designing a product that not only users adore, but also makes you fall in love with the creative process. This is where our sponsor Miro steps in, transforming your design journey into a connected, collaborative adventure. Picture this. Miro's visual platform becomes your playground to build that essential product. It's where your ideas take shape, incorporating key user needs every step of the way. Get real-time feedback, understand what clicks and what doesn't, and iterate rapidly. Miro is your go-to workspace for continuous improvement. Now, think about brainstorming with your team, gathering valuable feedback, and creating product experiences with a sprinkle of magic. All of this is possible in Miro. Make your findings visual and easy to grasp. Centralize your research on a single Miro board, creating a hub for your team to connect, discuss, and build comprehensive presentations. With Miro, customer perspectives are no longer a puzzle. Use hundreds of templates, including journey maps, to lead discussions and brainstorm improvements. Miro's infinite canvas is your realm to explore user needs and innovations. What's more, gather inspiration effortlessly. Drop images, GIFs, videos, and even audio on your board. Miro makes building lo-fi wireframes a breeze, offering a collaborative space to shape early concepts swiftly. And the best part, you can critique and refine designs in one shared space. Leave feedback asynchronously, ensuring everyone's voice is heard. And guess what? Your first 3 Miro boards are free forever when you sign up. Don't wait. Bring your ideas to life. Sign up today at Miro.com/podcast. Again, Miro.com/podcast. And our thanks to Miro for sponsoring this episode. All right, Shannon, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
It truly is a what if. I don't want to scare anybody here. Imagine, though, if I told you today that in the next month or two, I'm going to stop doing this podcast.
Yeah, that would be, I would adapt.
Right.
But I'm definitely better with a partner. The way we've, kind of built this show, and even really this show is just you and I talking about stuff we've talked about for 25 years, right?
Correct.
I mean, there's no, we decide the topics 15 minutes before we go.
I mean, they evolve over the week.
Yeah,
but
of course.
we narrow it down.
Slack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
yep.
I would continue to do it unless there was something. Well, we're not talking about like a business perspective, like, hey, I'm a partner, now you got to buy me out.
No.
Nothing like that. Just
nope.
What would happen? Got it.
Yeah, if I was saying I'm going to leave and you owe me nothing, essentially.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would continue it by myself, maybe for a while, or I would change the format. I don't know. It'd be challenging. It'd be something different that would definitely require some thinking and some changes.
So for the last 2 months, I have been going through exactly that, because it was 2 months ago that Paul Kent, my co-host of Gig Gab, a show that we started, we launched the first episode of Gig Gab on February 19th, the same exact day that we launched the first episode of this almost 9 years ago. So
time flies.
Yeah.
And you guys Apple recommended you were like in the top 20 music podcasts or something like that?
Yeah, and Spotify recommended us too. Yep.
It's killer.
Yeah, it's great. The show is great. We have a loyal listener base. We get a lot of interaction.
You really enjoy doing it?
I love doing it for a variety of reasons. I mean, I love the interaction with the listeners, but even if we didn't have listeners, the idea of talking about music for an hour a week.
Stop right there. That's the key. Even if we didn't have listeners,
right,
I would still want to have this conversation. And
correct.
I feel the same about this concept.
Correct. Same.
I want to talk about this stuff. I'm very selfish in that sense that I want to enjoy doing it. So, it certainly would change things.
But I don't have a co-host. Like I'm like you. Yeah. I think that I am best when I have someone to talk with and bounce ideas off of and listen to and converse with.
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't have an automatic for that show, for Gig Gab. I don't have an automatic like, this is the obvious person that will make sense, not just to me, but to our listeners. Like here they are. Let's slot them in.
Here's what I would do. The first thing I would do is I would hire an assistant.
Yeah.
Because you're going to take a bunch of new tasks on board.
Yep.
You almost need like a producer, but they don't necessarily, since you know the technical part of it, you don't have to have somebody that's sophisticated enough. No, I don't.
I've been doing all of the production of Gig Gab.
Correct.
Like unlike what you and I do here, where we split it up.
You do.
Paul shows up. He's essential. I don't want to
you're not
from a technical standpoint. He's essentially like a guest in that, and it's totally fine. I'm used to doing this. I've done it with Mac Geek Gab for 18 years. It's not a big deal. So it's not like I'm losing that part of it. It is that it truly is the content portion of the show, and also I don't get to talk to my friend every week. And he's leaving the show because his schedule just makes the show impossible. There's no other reason. Like he loves doing it too.
Yeah.
So
assistant, and then I would using your 2-week experiment concept, which if you don't know what that is, you should go up to businessbrain.show and search for 2 weeks because it's really a powerful thing. But I would probably obviously extend it out in this case since you're not trying to convince anybody. So maybe it's 2 months or 3 months or something, but I would try different things. Yeah. But
that's what I'm going to do. And there's some things that I haven't talked about to our audience. Some of them are going to be a surprise. But my current, at first I was like, well, maybe I can find a host that I can just drop in as a replacement because it's easy.
Yeah.
I don't have to book. You and I, we book our calendar for months out, but we only have to talk to one person to do it. Yeah. Now, to book my calendar for months out, I need to talk to 10 people to do it. Really, I probably need to talk to 25 because 15 of them are going to say no, right? So
yeah, that's right. So that's where I think the assistant is
already
crucial.
Have it.
Yeah, that's because then you can continue to focus on the content and creative side of things, which may take. Your focus can stay there instead of just, the nuts and bolts of some of the scheduling and different things like that. And then I would just try different things. I mean, if I were starting a new podcast today, the format that I would do is I would do a daily show. And whether it was 10 minutes or 15 minutes, kind of like we do this 15, I think us changing to a twice weekly format has been great. I mean, our obviously our listeners like it more. Our engagement's much higher, and trying new things, and now streaming it. We'll see how this works out. But the daily thing I think is great because it allows you to make mistakes and iterate faster,
very quickly.
Because we did it once a week, and it probably took us years in some cases to make changes that had we been doing things on a faster run rate, it's like the fruit fly. Fruit fly has a 24-hour life cycle. Yeah. And that's why they use them in scientific experiments, right? Because it's easy to modify. Well, so doing it quick allows you to iterate, and I would certainly do it more than once a week, but that may introduce, different challenges for you since you're just adjusting this thing now. So
Yeah. No, I'm going to leave it weekly for now. And I've got the general plan is we have found, especially over the last year, that our listeners really like it when we have a guest on.
Nice. Yeah.
And the reason they like it is because it brings fresh perspectives into the show. That show, I think more than this show, that show has become, it's easy for us to wind up rehashing things because we're just doing the same thing over and over again. We're going out, we're playing gigs, right?
Yeah.
So getting different perspectives in, getting different people's experiences in really is a good thing. And so there have been a few guests that we've had, especially this past year, that have just been like great guests. And it's like, well, wait a minute. What if I have that person on once every 6 weeks? And what if I have 4 people that I'm having on once every 6 weeks each, right? And now I've got this ongoing conversation because people do like that consistency. Our listeners have told us, but also it leaves me room to bring in one-offs. Now, maybe one of these one-offs becomes a regular, or maybe it's just a one-off, and that's okay too. And, is there a world where one of these regulars becomes so regular that they become a co-host? Maybe. There's no plan for that, but it's not against the rules. Like,
like
if it works out. Yeah, right. Exactly. The one thing that I've never done is a solo episode on I've been podcasting 18 and a half years, and I've never done a solo episode. So,
I did one Business Brain when you were out one week, and I said, I'll just talk about it and do it.
Oh, that's right.
Right. And it was interesting. I'm working on this. I have this new book in process called Escaping Employment.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I've done at the end of each chapter is I've done an audio log because there may be some fine tuning or finessing on a topic that I want to discuss or too long, didn't read type concept. And so speaking into the mic and recording those things, I mean, I think you would do great on a solo show.
I do. I've done little one-offs like the videos that we'll do at CES where it's like, okay, here's a product I'm going to tell you about, or like I do on TikTok sometimes, like those kinds of things. I'm getting more comfortable with those. They are not in my comfort zone yet, but that's okay. And so there will likely be segments, if not entire episodes of Gig Gab that are, solo Dave. And I'm going to experiment with that too.
That's great. I read a comment this morning that I really thought was powerful, is that if there's not an edge of fear to whatever you're doing, you're probably not pushing yourself far enough. And I really is like, man, that's so true.
It sucks that it's true.
It is suck, but it's that crisis of complacency or whatever, where you just get kind of in this thing and everything. So if it makes you nervous and worries you a little bit, I think that's great. The last thing I'll say about this podcast concept, if you're a small business owner, one of the easiest ways to connect with people is to have a podcast up on your website and to talk, and even to interview your clients and ask them for audio reviews, verbal reviews, whatever it is. It's just one more way to connect with your customers and your employees, and also have your employees come in and talk about what they're working on, and to we did that last episode, your noble cause. It's a chance for you to connect with people on a different level from all aspects: employee, vendor, supplier, banker, whatever. Talking about your business and the way it works, and getting that, just like we did today, talking about Gig Gab. It's just a huge benefit.
Business therapy, man.
Yeah, and it's so inexpensive and easy to do.
Yep.
You really need to do it. If you have questions, feedback at businessbrain.show.
I have a question, Shannon.
Yeah.
What are we going to name this episode?
Oh, that's true.
Normally, Shannon, we all have our different workflows. Normally, you come up with the title before we record to sort of set the stage.
I really like this slight edge of fear.
Yeah, but did we really talk about?
No.
Okay, but that to me is a future episode. Yeah.
Yeah, what are we going to call it? Something about adapting to change, or adapting to.
Yeah.
It's
I don't think I have found in this comes from running Mac Observer for 25 years. We found that discussing verbally a title that is meant to be heard, or is it meant to be read rather, not heard, is a fool's errand. So we would do this in staff meetings where it was like, okay, this is what the article is going to be about. We would get to the point where the seed of the title was there, the adapting to change or whatever. And that's immediately where we would, even if we remained on the call, everybody would get silent. We would all sort of revert to our Slack room and just start typing examples and iterating that way, because seeing it is the way. So something about adapting to change.
Adapting
to
change,
this.
But sexier. So I'll
sexier,
work on,
right?
Yeah.
That's
I got that. That's great. That's all I need, because when I go to get the show up on when I do the processing of it all, that'll cue me up. So that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm excited about new stuff coming your way, and I know you'll be successful at whatever.
I'm scared. It's like
good.
Not petrified.
No.
Yeah. Like the appropriate amount of scared, but it's like it's because I care, right? Like it's I don't have stage fright when I go on stage usually, but I am always a little anxious. I have those butterflies, but that's a good thing. It's like, we're doing something here.
Anxiousness and worry, get it behind you, and it pushes you forward.
It pushes, exactly. Yeah.
Right on. Great.
Thanks for hanging out with us,
everybody.
folks. Feedback at businessbrain.show. And like he said, have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us on Casual Friday. And pay attention to Gig Gab to see what I'm doing over there. It'll be fun. Have a good weekend. Keep living that charmed life. That's great.
Terrific.
Yep. Where are we here? 53, 45, 53, 50. Okay. Great. Yeah, it's good. Good stuff, man.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So you want to end this stream here, and then we'll.
Yeah, you can end it if you want.
Look at that.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks,
Later.
everybody. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't
see you
need
next
to be
week.
the producer.